in my dream.
Good morning, everybody. Greetings to you in Jesus' name. Yes. So we are so happy to be on the show. You are on Talk with Joan Thursdays with none other than Joan and Lee-Ann. So today our other co-host, Violet, is not here. She's on holiday. She's actually laying on the beach while we must work. That's not fair, right? But nevertheless, we wish her well and have a good holiday and enjoy it, because you you don't always get this time, just to relax and to be with the hubby alone, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we are discussing this morning something that is very close to my heart, and that is an inside look into ministry from a First Lady's perspective. So the both of us are First Ladies, that's myself and Lee-Ann. But before we go there, I would like Lee-Ann to just greet you, and then we go further.
Hey, Insights family. It's always good to be on a Thursday. Talk with Joan is the place to be at on a Thursday morning. So ladies, get your sharing out. Share this podcast far and wide. This is a community conversation and a community people. So we're very interested in having those conversations that impact and benefit us and are relevant to us. So please continue to support our Insights podcast and share far and wide.
Yes, that is from Lee-Ann. So beloveds, if you have your mirror, you know the show is about mirrors. We start off with a mirror. And why I like a mirror is because a mirror can show you where all the blemishes and all the vleesmoesies are, and so on and so on. But we're going to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question to Lee-Ann, right? So I'm putting her on the spot. So I'm going to ask, what would you do before you were a First Lady?
What did I do?
What did you do before you were a First Lady? And what will you do if you're not a First Lady? There's certain things that a person can do,
Unreservedly.
Not thinking about a lot of things.
Yeah. Considering
everybody.
Yes. And all the feelings.
Yeah.
What I was doing before we launched our church, I think I was very interested in business. I've always been. I think I have entrepreneurial blood. And so so that was before, and I think I definitely would have continued, or I do continue, but I think I would have been much more active in that space, unreservedly, because there's a lot of consideration for my time and the types of things you get involved with now. So everything filters through ministry. All your activities, your decisions always filters through ministry. You can't be away too long, you can't be out too long. And so what would I do if I wasn't in ministry, or if I wasn't a First Lady? I would definitely have much more stamps in my passport. I think I would. I would try and be abroad quite often. So that's me.
Yeah, true. I like that one, because honestly, you sometimes just want to go away. You know what I'm saying? And I want to put on this because I was wondering,
why you're not hearing so?
Why can't I hear so nicely? And it makes you scream afterwards if I am like that. So yeah. I actually also wanna say
traveled.
I would have traveled. I think I would have loved just to go wherever I want to. Like now.
Yeah.
I lust for Cape Town, to be honest with you. I feel, yes, if I can just go to Cape Town a little bit, man, and just go sit at the beach a little bit,
And now you have to think
but
about
now
a lot
I
of
have
things.
to think about, so this must be done, and that must be done, and this must be done in ministry. So you can't just leave. You have to be here. And for those who think it's a walk in the park, oh, guys, glad nie, nogal nie. it's really a journey, and we're going to discuss a little bit of the journey from the two of us in our lifetime, and what we went through, and what we see. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if I must look into the mirror, and I think before I was a first lady, I think I would have spent a lot of time in as I said, traveling. I would have spent a lot of time with my husband, just have that time with him, seeing that we have an empty nest at the moment, you know what I'm saying? So I think I would have just wanted to go out and just be with him.
Yeah, like
because
explore your companionship.
Yeah, man. Because you know what? You're still there because your children's at school and they're still little, they're still small children.
Yeah.
So you still have to groom, you still have to
work
see.
a lot still.
Yeah. So I think that is exactly what I would love to do, or would have loved to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming. When we give over, I think, it's not far. Guys, it's not far. Then we can travel a little bit and do our things.
Yes.
Yay, they gaan so lekker is, man. I'm looking forward for it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so we are just going to give a little bit of insight in our journey. So I just want to throw out the question out there as if you are a first lady and you are joining us this morning, if you can please just speak to us, tell us a little bit about the questions that we're going to ask. There's a few questions that we're actually going to ask, and as the conversation goes, we just want you guys to just throw in your 5 cents, your 10 cents, right?
Yes.
For what it's worth. So we're going to actually just give you a little bit of insight into ministry and the role of a first lady. I don't know, but if Lee-Ann, if you maybe can just tell us a little bit, did you have a roadmap, or did you have a manual or any book to tell you?
You're touching on something there, Joan, because no one ever sat you down and gave you the full spectrum of all the different things that you were going to experience. And I think for most part, the people that we considered as mentors were also not that prolific in their advice. They would have just said, no, God's grace will be with you. You
Yeah.
got the kind of generic advice.
Yes.
This is a work, and,
Yeah, because it always seemed like they're scared to talk.
Yes.
They never wanted to share
Yes.
what they're going through.
Yes.
But that was real stuff.
It
Because,
was.
So let's fast forward. Before, tell us a little bit about how did you get into ministry full time? How did you get into being the first lady of the church,
City Church,
of Rock City?
Well, for us, I've always been in ministry. I believe that I was called to ministry, and so I worked in different departments in my church, and they were always either with children or in art. So I like the creative.
Nice.
I like the creative, and it was also, I think, if my journey had a timeline, then I think that was suited to the spiritual maturity that I had, and the interest and my gifting, all probably in that same kind of bundle. So I was always very active in my church, and then I served. Then I got married, and then I served. Then I just attended church faithfully, and I went to the Bible school at our church. And thereafter, my husband was approached by one of his colleagues and said, why don't you guys come serve, and I would categorize that as almost lay pastoring. So come serve in our church for a period, and we did that. We supported the ministry, we aided the ministry, and I think that would possibly have been my first introduction into more senior ministry. But still a novice, I would say. And then we were married by then, and then my husband decided that actually I was like pregnant. I was heavily pregnant, and he decided, now is the time for us to go into ministry. And I was like, why don't you just wait a little bit,
Yeah.
Because I'm ready to pop.
give birth.
Yes, I'm ready to pop, and now we want to add all of that
Yeah.
to the mix. But nonetheless, we always say God has his own timing. So we
Absolutely.
launched the ministry, and that was about 11 years ago to date. And so that's how I became a first lady, right
Wow.
off the bat. So
Wow.
we were the founders of Rock City Church. We started the church. We weren't planted or launched.
Right.
And I think that's very useful and helpful. Just a side note there. You know, being launched or being planted
Yes.
helps because there was
Yes.
some kind of grooming
Yes.
into, you know,
Right.
what is it that you're going to do in your church? Do you have a clear vision? Do you have a
Right.
clear mandate? Do you and your husband understand your different giftings and roles? So I think that we started the very naive way,
Oh, okay.
fueled with the love of
With the
God.
zest and
Yes,
zeal.
knowing that you have a calling in your
Yes.
life, and then just going into ministry. And I do think that you do better with more training. But obviously,
Absolutely.
there's not a school of
Yeah.
ministry or school
Yeah.
of being a first lady that you go to get
Right.
everything. Yeah.
Right.
So you learn as you go, and you allow God to lead you in that way. But I think I would have, in hindsight,
Yeah.
I think I would have wanted to be better equipped for the realities of it, and for
That's
the
true.
because it's a long haul.
That's
it's your life.
Absolutely so.
It's your life.
Absolutely
So that's how
so.
I ended up being first lady of Rock City
Wow.
Church.
Wonderful, man. Oh, that's a lovely journey. And I know, you know, without having any manual, without having any roadmap, without anybody as a actual mentor where you can run to with some difficulties, some problems, some pitfalls that you find in the way, you know, that
Yeah.
you can actually run to. And I think thus far you guys are doing very well looking from the outside in. So that's a nice thing.
A nice
so
story.
It's a nice story.
And you yourself,
because-
you come from a very ministerially strong family.
Yeah, definitely.
You almost saturated in it.
Yeah, look, my father was a pastor. He started PRM Church, that was Pentecostal Revival Mission, some years back when first he was at the AFM Church, and then he went over and they started a movement by the name of PRM. And so my father was there, and yeah, we served in the church. We did whatever, you know, children's church and blah, 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 youth and so on and
All
so
of
on.
the departments,
Yeah,
yes, at some
no,
place or
and,
another.
yeah, so, and thereafter, well, I was still very young, very vibrant for the Lord. When I was a hockey player before ministry,
Like
you
your
know.
other
I used
skills
to-
and talents.
Oh, I used to love it. But when I gave my life to the Lord, I was told I can't play hockey anymore.
Yeah, because they play on Sundays.
And not that. It was like it's not right for you. That was one of the things that in the Pentecostal church,
Yeah.
hockey was or sports was not the thing. So you were taken out of that.
Yeah, they kind of closed in on
Yeah,
everything that you
yeah.
did outside
because
of
now
ministry.
you must now wear this short skirt, and you know,
Yeah.
I didn't even do PE as they call it today,
Yeah,
physical,
because of the...
because you have to wear shorts. When I gave my
But
life
that
to
was
the
a
Lord, I didn't-
generational-
I
it was a
didn't-
generational
It
thing.
was a generational thing, but it was damnable to us
Yes.
as our generation. To be quite honest with you, it wasn't just. It left something behind, you
Yes,
know, where you
yes.
wondered.
A life experience and
Something
enjoyment.
was missed. We missed out on if I can say, on life.
Yeah, a chunk of it.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You couldn't be the person you really want to be.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I do, because
those
duty
things
was
were
so big,
It
yes.
was very big.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we started the church in 1992. I think it was 1990. Yeah. That's Crystal Church now.
Okay.
Um,
So you
so
kind of
let's
had
fast
like
forward.
church grooming in your former years, and then straight into being a first lady.
Straight into being a first lady. Straight in. No roadmap, guys. No manual. Nothing. So I always say the journey of a first lady is often uncharted. It is a undocumented and a previously unknown territory. It's a territory that you go in without knowing what to get
Yes.
in the entire ministry per se. You don't get training with how to deal with difficult issues and difficult things
Yeah.
in ministry. If there's a problem, you don't really know how to handle the problem.
Yeah.
And that is why
We pay a lot for our school fees.
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. To be quite honest, we use what we knew
Yes.
and bring it into
Yes. We
the
from what
ministry.
we saw, we just kind of tried to
just
carry
tried.
it over.
Yeah. Like for instance with me, I didn't have a mentor. To be honest, I didn't. There was nobody I could run to
Yeah.
until I met Dr. Frank and Dr. Joyce Thomas.
Yeah.
And I honestly must say, Dr. Gina Stewart, who came and spoke here, I used to watch that woman like an
hawk.
eagle.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
watching its prey.
Why? Because you saw what could happen.
I saw she wasn't a first lady. She was the pastor of the church.
Okay.
This is Dr. Gina Stewart. Even though they have a different system,
Yes.
like Dr. Joyce and Dr. Frank Thomas, they have a different system. And there was certain things that Dr. Joyce actually brought to my attention, and that opened my eyes.
Yeah.
You understand? But to say that I had a mentor whilst in ministry, being the first lady,
Yeah.
didn't know that Crystal Church will grow so fast.
Yeah, and to and to the heights that it has.
Yes.
And and I'm just thinking of mentorship there. In the pastoral couple role, when your husband is the dominant pastor or leader, he kind of serves as your mentor.
That's correct.
But I don't think they always make the best mentors.
No.
Because we are of the same generation.
Yeah.
And
it's your husband.
yes, and they also
Yeah.
sometimes don't distinguish between playing between your roles. In other words, you can be the wife in every situation,
Yes.
which is not always helpful when you are either co-pastoring or you're supporting in ministry, however your dynamic is defined.
Yes.
But if you will always expect it to be the wife, and there are areas where you can't actually be the wife. You actually have to stand in your own kind of responsibility and act out of that instead of just being the wife. So what I'm saying is that they do serve as mentors, but they can't be the only mentor that you have, because there are things that someone needs to speak into your life as a woman or a
Definitely
senior.
so.
And because the game is different. The
It's totally
experiences are different for us.
It's different.
Yes.
Because remember, we don't think the same. We touched on that last week.
Yes.
Our thinking patterns are totally different.
Yes, and our needs are different.
Our needs are different.
And dare I
we
say,
deal
even
with
our
certain
ministries are different.
we deal with things differently.
Yes.
And we know how to deal with women.
Yeah. Yes.
And sometimes, yes, as a pastor, I'm sure they know how to deal with people,
Yes.
per se.
Generally, yeah.
But who knows better than a woman to a woman?
Yeah, and that was taboo for a long time, because we would take religious instruction mostly from a male perspective, and that would be your pastor shepherding or counseling you or leading you. But the truth is that women did need to rise up from where they were,
Yes.
because they needed voices to speak into their particular sensitivities.
That's right.
And-
And I think it's important for us then to understand that with the different roles. So if I must ask, what do you think is the role of a first lady?
Yeah, sure. That's a tricky one. It's
it
tricky.
is.
It's tricky in the sense for me because many churches have different dynamics.
Right.
So the first lady in church A may not do the same things as the first lady in church B.
That's
you
correct.
could have career first ladies who still predominantly are in the workforce.
Right.
And you could have those who have completely surrendered themselves to the ministry. So the roles and the responsibilities look different on such a terrain. And so I thought about that question before we answered it.
Yeah.
And I thought I would title it Role, Function and Dilemma. Role,
Okay.
function and dilemma. Given that there's no kind of description in the Bible for a first lady per se.
There's
so,
none.
Yeah, so you have this first lady, which is a legitimate role that women have to play, because that would be kind of the founder of the organization. It would be the leader of maybe the females. It would be one that takes on certain responsibilities, like maybe praying for the church and exhorting the church. So those would kind of be the roles for me. Then the function or the dilemma, rather, is that we have to wear many different hats. I'm sure you found
Absolutely.
yourself doing this many times
Absolutely
in
so,
ministry,
yeah.
where you have to vacillate between
Yes.
being Dr. Carl's wife to being his co-pastor, to being his supporter,
Yeah.
to being his cheerleader.
Yes.
You kind of have to vacillate between
Yes.
that, and sometimes it
To being a
leaves you.
mother.
Yes,
Yeah.
to being responsible at home, to taking on more responsibilities at home because you're missing a
Yeah.
counterpart in favor of ministry. So role, function, and dilemma, and I think that is our unique journey: is how do we balance between our role? How do we identify and accurately play into our function, and how do we manage our dilemma? Because remember, we're also going on a journey.
Absolutely.
I described the different years where I speak about, I could have been spiritually immature in this phase of my life.
Right.
And then I had to grow myself. And God was also working out things in me. I had to grow. I had to learn. I had to mature. I had to, and there were gifts that had to come out,
Yes.
and there were things that need to be refined. So that is our journey. So we are
Absolutely.
basically having our journey and having it in front of everybody. And that's where the grace comes in.
You see, and that is and that sometimes is misunderstood by people,
Yeah,
by your congregation, by the people who watch you.
yeah,
So that's where the, how can I say, the hatred and the slander
yeah.
and
The
you know,
chastisement or the expectations, the misplaced expectations.
so that's where it comes from,
Yeah.
because you must understand, as a first lady, we just went into the thing without any manual, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure for pastors, there are different manuals. They already worked out certain things as a manual to be followed. They have their different, how can I put it, what a pastor roles, functions,
Yeah.
and how to deal with certain dilemmas and stuff like that.
Yeah, or some kind of formative experience or training in some way or another.
Yeah, because they always get together with things like that. But when it comes, they say women always get together, and when they get together, they talk. They talk about everything, whereas men don't, right?
Yeah.
So I find in ministry, I don't think, especially when it comes to first ladies, when we get together, we never speak ministry per se.
Yeah.
We will never ask another first lady, so how are you doing in ministry? Do you experience any pitfalls? Do you experience any hassles? Or how
or
can
if
we
you- or
help
if
one
you
another,
have-
support one
Yeah,
another?
or if you have that conversation, it would be rare that you would find an authentic
Someone that,
response.
yes.
Who is bold enough to say, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're
So-
so guarded. They're so guarded because they've also received a lot of flack
Yes.
from people.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So my question then is, how can we
Help each other.
help each other?
Yes.
How can we support each other?
Yeah.
How can we talk about certain things? I know I started something some years back where first ladies just used to come and we just had a conversation.
Yeah, just like a
We
fellowship.
spoke like a fellowship,
Yeah.
We spoke about things that we going through. I actually made them sign an indemnity form because you know how it is in life, that people can take your business and run with it and take it outside.
Yeah.
Which
Which is ultimately the fear, I guess.
I
Yeah.
think that is because the trust factor
Yeah.
is broken.
Yeah.
And it gets broken in church,
Yes.
And so the woman is hurt because she spoke to someone
Yeah,
And
because
it
she
was
needed
taken,
to.
it was taken wrongly.
Yeah.
So I think there's fine lines there, you know what I'm saying? Hence, I had the indemnity form, and I said, whatever happens in this room stays in this room. And I thank God, up till now, nothing
Nothing
went
nothing
up.
seeped out. Yeah, you didn't have
no.
to prosecute anybody.
Yeah. I know one lady who was in our last First Ladies gathering. Actually, she passed away just after that, the year after that. And I normally, for the last one, I have 3 in a year, but the last one I always have on my birthday, for my birthday, in November.
Yeah.
So she was there, and I actually invited her because she was a first lady, maybe not of a Pentecostal church, but yeah, she went through a lot.
Yeah.
And she actually opened up in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
And we all, as first ladies, you know, tried to help wherever we could, because she lost everything. They lost everything. They lost their house. They lost their business. And things went very, very difficult for her. And I think she died of a broken heart. She died because she couldn't handle her situation.
That kind of strain.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she didn't have people to run to. She didn't have a sister girlfriend in the ministry,
Yeah. To bear some burden,
you know, to
with her.
help her,
Yeah.
you know, and to listen, to give her an ear and a shoulder to cry on. So I think that is why we need that support. We need support.
And a woman, I think we need, intrinsically need an outlet.
You do.
It's like even if you just
You
spoke your
do.
heart out, you would feel better after that.
I do that.
Yeah.
And thank God I have 2 friends, you know, who
Yes.
is in ministry. And, when we get together, we can talk for ages.
Yeah.
My friend phoned me because I didn't see her for a long time. And was it last week, Friday, we just decided, no, we must see, because her husband actually said to her, you're missing your sister now.
Yeah, you're becoming a bit pent up here at home.
Yeah. So I like that, you know. I like the conversations that we can discuss certain things that we are going through.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's in ministry, whether it is at home, whether whatever. But you have that camaraderie, you know, where we can just talk
Yes.
and help one another, because there's certain things that I went through that you don't have to go through.
Yes.
You know, I can help you in that. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? And that was my idea, to actually have the mentorship, the First Lady gatherings.
Yeah.
So I think it is something needed.
It is.
Because there was a lot of young First Ladies who came, who I invited to the meeting.
Yeah.
And who came, who couldn't understand what's happening to them.
Oh, because, you know, they were probably being hit by
Bombarded from all sides.
Yeah, by the demands, by the pressures, by the people.
And especially, Lee-Ann, let's be honest, let's take off the mask.
Yeah.
Especially women who comes with different agendas to church.
Yeah.
And being that woman who always want your husband
Yeah.
to pray for her.
Okay.
And when you stand close, let's just be open, man.
Yeah.
Because you do find that you find people, not everybody comes to church for God. I'm looking into the camera now. Not everybody comes to church to serve God. Some people are sent with different agendas. And that's why I say, as a first lady, you have to be very careful what you do. And that's why people actually took me on when I used to, in the beginning years of our ministry, I always used to say, I might be thin, but I have a
I
first.
pack a mean punch.
Yeah. So don't even try it. Don't even try it. Because ek kom van Noordgesig, jy weet.
I can, Dalla.
Yeah, I can actually.
You know what? You said something which was very good and insightful. You said that you had ladies of all different ages.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as people let go of, you know, an aspect of their pride, they will find that they actually need the senior voices. Like if you had a room where you had novices and, you know, people that have maybe been in the game for a while, and then you had the veterans, you know how rich that kind of ensemble of people can be, and, you know, the advice that can be dispensed from such an environment.
Absolutely.
And you know what the thing about ministry is that, and I mean, I always speak about it concerning your life, is that you've kind of crossed a couple of generational hurdles,
Yeah.
and you've managed to stay relevant in that way. And I think it's because you are adaptable
Yes,
to
I
firstly
am.
what the Spirit of God wants to do,
Yes.
and then secondly, you can learn from absolutely anybody. And I
Absolutely
think
so.
the older generation lost. If you lose that, then you'll stay kind of stuck in an old phase.
Very
and the younger
true.
girls, if you don't pick up the
Very
value
true.
from the senior generation, you'll be arrogant and prideful.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you need them
You
to
go
balance
after
you out.
you go after the first lady hype.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
That is why someone said that first ladies are just like
Full of
ornaments.
themselves.
They like ornaments
Okay.
next to their husbands
Okay. They're just
in
like
church.
empty vessels.
Or they like accessories.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
accessories that you wear.
Yes.
That's what they called first ladies
Okay.
because they thought we
Because of the
don't
lack
have.
of substance.
They
Yeah.
thought we don't have voices.
Yeah.
You know, they thought we can't give
Yeah. Anything.
to empower. We can't give anything.
You can actually say it wasn't always their fault, always,
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
because
Wasn't.
they were kind of managed
Yeah.
to a point. And then, but if you stayed like that, then that was
There's
your
a
fault.
problem.
Yes.
There's a problem.
Yes.
You have to grow. And I always say, you know, you might be a first lady who's not full-time,
Yeah.
who has a job, you know, and your husband maybe is full-time.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have to juggle. Because on a Sunday, you are so tired when you sit in church because you have to see to so many things. As you said earlier, we wear different caps.
Yeah.
So how do you maneuver, you know, between
Yes.
the caps that you are wearing? When to take the one off and put the other one
Yeah.
on.
And you in an environment, if that is your dynamic, you'll be in an environment where everybody loves your husband, but people don't know you because you are at work and
Yes,
engaged in
and
another
it, and it
place.
seems like you're in the background. It seems like you have
Yeah.
nothing to give.
Yeah, so it'll be like, oh, wonderful, and
Yes.
then you'll just be the
Yes,
other person.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that's why, for instance, I am very for, you know, I stand up for it. When my husband is invited to minister at Rock City Church,
Okay, and then
this
you,
is an example.
yeah,
And the convener says, we want to
Invite.
welcome Dr. Carl Hendricks
his-
and his beautiful wife.
always.
So I know I'm beautiful, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I
I've
have a
got a
name.
name.
I have a name.
Yes.
So it's so important for me because that speaks about identity.
Yeah,
And maybe people don't see it that way, but, you know, I'm educating you now. When you invite my husband and I am with him, don't say beautiful wife of Dr. Carl Hendricks. Find out what is this woman's name.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Lee-Ann, to me, it's a form of disrespect,
yeah, it is.
not knowing that this is the woman that actually keeps this man.
Yeah,
This is the woman who stands up for this man.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yes, of course.
He's the pastor. I'm his wife.
Yeah, and sacrifice isn't seen in a first lady's life because
Well, it's not seen.
because you don't have the public face. But and that's why I think it's important to acknowledge a couple because they have to sacrifice in their personal capacity.
Yes.
And you ascribe the sacrifice to one party.
Right.
Where it is really a joint work,
It's a
irrespective
joint
of
work.
what the roles may
It's a
be.
joint work.
It is, yeah.
You are one in it.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong in the ministry, you are together in it.
You are, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything that goes wrong, he's never alone. You and your children are going through the same things
Yes.
that he's going through. And I think that is important for people to understand, that a first lady is not an accessory. A first lady is not an ornament. A first lady plays a vital role in the lives of their spouses. So it is important to see them
Yeah, as people.
as people.
Yeah.
See them as valuable.
Yeah.
See them as worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And not treat them as they are just, you see what I'm saying?
Nothing,
Because I feel there's a lot of disrespect that goes into the churches when it comes to the first lady. If the first lady is not out there, because you do find first ladies that's very much out there,
Yeah.
and they overpower the husbands,
Yeah.
or they want to be involved in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you find first ladies who's not like that.
Yeah. People serve in their own dynamic and in
Their own passion,
yes.
their own talent, their
Their
own
own way,
gifting,
yeah.
their own way. You know, because we have different personalities.
Yeah.
We
And
have
callings.
different callings.
And it's important to see people in their own way,
Yes.
which will help you respect who
Yes.
they are.
Absolutely so. So I think it's so important for us to understand that, you know, that you don't run over her because it seems like she's quiet.
Yeah, or it seems like you can. Yeah. No, that is true.
You know, and I find that in the church, to be quite honest, when you speak to first ladies, the hurt that they have,
Yeah.
you know, that they can't even talk about.
That is true, because it affects them deeply
It
personally.
affects them deeply.
And oftentimes they have to go through it alone.
And they are first ladies, guys, they're the unsung heroes.
Yeah. Especially
They're
those
the
quiet
uncrowned
types.
queens. We don't crown them as
Yeah.
they are supposed to be crowned, as the queen of that ministry.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important for us to understand that and to respect a first lady, because you will respect Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
to mention names. You will respect, I don't know, what is Cyril Ramaphosa's wife's name? You will respect some first ladies because they're out there. But in your church, the person that is actually holding everything together, it does not look like it, but it is like that, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because sometimes our husbands can make mistakes. Sometimes our husbands can make wrong decisions. And you see,
And feel.
woman can see and feel,
A thing.
honestly speaking.
Yeah.
And we can then go and say, Angel, just watch there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And many times you don't see it.
And let's also talk about the responsibility of running together, because it can happen that you can put yourself in a destitute position,
Yeah, you can.
because you do have to. There is a level of responsibility that first ladies have to take. They have to kind of almost make an effort to keep up, which is part of the battle.
Yes.
That they have. It's like, okay, so I have to do this, and then I must still try and keep up with where we are going. I
Right.
must still try and run with you in this race. I must still try and capacitate myself in order to stay in this place.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can get left behind, and it will be out of your own, lack of effort.
Absolutely. And-
Because it's a role that you can't kind of cozy in. And that's
no, you
the thing.
can't. No, you can't. That's why, Lee-Ann, it's important for the first lady to grow with her husband.
Yes. So you have to take responsibility for your growth.
You have to take responsibility. I have this thingy that I say. It's part of what I am busy on
Yes.
at the moment. Where, as the first lady, it looks like you're taking the back seat. You're in the shadow
Yeah.
of your husband, right? And if you don't grow with him, you're going to be left behind and you're going to feel
Left behind.
left behind.
Yes, you will.
You have to educate yourself, because if you open your eyes, take it from me, guys, take it from me. If you open your eyes with trying to do everything, like when it comes to the household, when it comes to the children, the taking to school and the dropping off, it looks easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. And especially if the children are in different standards and they come out at different times, and you have to manage that, you have to juggle that. At a certain time you have to go and you have to cook because your husband's coming home at that time and that time. So in the interim you lose yourself,
Yeah, serving.
the person who you are. That's why I asked the question in the mirror.
Yeah.
So what would you do if you're not a first lady?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us can do a lot of other things, but we are called for a purpose. And the purpose is to stand as a first lady or a clergy spouse. So it is important then to grow together,
Yeah, it is.
so that the both of you will be able to work together,
Yeah.
to be able to push this vehicle together,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know whether you want to throw in a 10 cents there.
No,
Oopsie.
I think I had the fighting different generational challenges. It's almost like it's poetic about ministry, is that you do have work to do.
Yeah,
As you can't just kind of opt out
Yeah.
into practical things. You can't just kind of opt out. You have to pursue. You have to be plugged in so that you can pursue what God wants you to do. Because in every generation, there is almost like a new responsibility
That's
that
correct,
needs
yes.
that you need to kind of take up on. And you need to stay close to the heartbeat of what is happening in your church so that you can pick up that mantle and run with it. So
yeah,
it's
and
the
also not
generational
just in the
balance.
church, but in the world per se.
Yeah.
You have to be.
You have to represent.
You understand?
Yeah.
And wherever you go, people see Rock City.
Yeah.
So you must be mindful of that. That
Yeah. You're on all the time.
you're on
Yes.
wherever you go.
Yes.
So there's a certain type of behavior and attitude that first ladies have. I can't put on that in my age and time. I just came in the thing rough, and I can't put on. What you see is what you get, and that's me.
Yeah.
I can't go into the first lady hype, that you have to wear this clothing when you come to church. You have to match in everything that you come. That's now that's a different
Yeah.
generation.
and
That's a
find
different
that
vibe.
People tend to do the superficial things when they lack the spiritual depth of things.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think that's one of the biggest things that you
And
can
that
do.
is when you don't know who you are also.
Yes. So you cling to anything that's superficial. So
Yes.
if this jacket makes me look good, I'll wear that. It's like, but you need to find yourself in an authentic way. Who are you in Christ? Yes. What is
Yeah.
your identity?
Absolutely.
What are you going to do with this ministry? What are you going to do with this opportunity? What are you going to do with this position? What are you going to do with where you find yourself?
Right.
And that's when you take up the
Yeah,
responsibility.
that's why I always say, don't go with the first lady hype.
Yeah.
Because there's a hype out there, guys. I see it. When I go to conferences, I see the first lady hype. I see that everybody wants to sit in the front. I was taught by one of our mentors, Dr. Frank, that it's a privilege. And to be quite honest, I take it as a privilege. I don't have to sit in a what do you call it when they put that thingy there?
A reserved
A
seat.
reserved seat, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to sit in a reserved seat. No, I can go sit wherever. It's not going to make me lesser me. So it's a privilege. You must never, and if an usher put you in the second row, It's a privilege. Oh, the Lord knows that thing I need to address.
So you can spot the hype, you say?
I can spot the hype. Honestly, before God,
Yeah.
I can spot the hype. Myself and Sandy had a conversation on this.
Yeah.
You know, we discussed what we see is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
You see that the first ladies of today is not like we used to be
Yeah,
when we came into
subservient,
the
yeah.
ministry.
Yeah.
We were there. We checked out. We were the lovers of the people, the huggers, and
Yeah,
so on
the
and
tea
so on.
makers, the
Tried to,
carers,
yeah,
yeah.
we were the carers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And today, the first ladies of today don't want to dirty their hands.
Yeah. No,
They
that-
they
that
want to
is
have
true.
they want to have nails, and they want to sit with that nails and say ABC. You know,
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. Ministry for me is work.
Yeah.
It's spelled WORK. You have to work. You have to dirty your hands. If you want to see your ministry go somewhere,
Yeah.
believe you me, dirty your hands
And your knees.
and your knees.
Yeah.
It's very important. Coming to the knees, you can't do without that.
No, you can't.
You can't. It must happen.
Yeah.
You can't just run in Sunday after Sunday.
Yeah. You'll lose vigor. You'll lose passion.
You will
You'll
definitely.
tire out, yeah.
Definitely. And that is why so many become depressed
Yeah.
in the journey. So many first ladies become depressed.
Yeah.
So many becomes like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's like this.
Yeah.
I didn't know people's gonna be so ugly toward me.
Yeah.
You know, I hear that. I hear that daily. You know, where you have to have something to give to someone else, to another first lady, because I take her as my peer. It's this. We together in this thing.
Yeah.
You're not alone. So wherever I can help, wherever I can give you advice,
Yeah.
you know, if you are willing to do it, you can go forward. But don't stay
Yeah. And don't cower.
in that hurt.
It's like you can also go into self-pity. A self-pity mode where
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
stop talking
Oh,
and stop
yeah.
interacting
Oh,
and stop
yeah.
being yourself.
That happened.
Because it's a lot of effort. So if you're going through a phase like that, go through the phase, but get up again.
But that is why we need mentors.
Yeah. To guide you along your highs and lows.
We definitely need mentors. I don't know, the other day we were saying that, it seems like we the elderly of now, because everybody whom we saw as our elderly people
Yes, are gone now.
are gone.
Yeah.
So it seems like,
Yeah, my mom used to say that. She says
Ja.
to my dad, ons raak die groot mense.
maar ons is die groot mense nou.
Yeah.
What you see, this is that what you get. Yeah. Yeah, so that is what I want to say. Thank you so much for tuning in, Gail, once again. And Violet, thank you so much. Sister Girlfriend, she says, morning, beautiful girlfriends. Greetings from KwaZulu-Natal. Jy maak ons chela, ne? Pastor Eileen says, good morning. Thank you so much, Pastor Eileen, for tuning in. Throw in your 10 cents there, girlfriend. And that is the people that's online that I can see. I don't know whether you have anybody. So can I ask the question, do you know yourself for yourself?
Do you know yourself?
For yourself as a first lady? Or must you always know yourself for others?
Sure. I think that answer changes depending on what phase of life you're in. Initially, when you start, there's a lot of reservation, and you try to be a people pleaser. I think that can
Yeah.
be a high propensity.
Yeah.
You try and be a people pleaser in the initial days, then you find out that you can't actually,
Yeah.
because you always disappoint
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're trying
You will
to.
always
So the best thing to do is find yourself.
find yourself.
And then you can always rely on that.
Yes.
And try not to change. Find yourself, be sturdy, develop a steadfast character. I'm going to say this, you do need to develop a thick skin.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not going to
That's
last if you
very
don't.
important, very important.
Not a hard heart, just a thick skin.
Yes.
You're not going to last if you
Yes.
don't. And you will always benefit of understanding who you are in Christ, understanding your powers and your strengths, and also you'll always benefit in submission. So I think those were the strong points. Know yourself, understand who you are in Christ, and understand where you submitted. Because there will come days where you will be accused of things, you will get it wrong, you will make mistakes.
Yeah. Because you're just human.
Yeah, and then you can also be perceived inaccurately,
Yeah.
which I think is the most
Yeah.
irritating of all of them.
Yeah, very true. Because sometimes when you're in that situation
Yeah.
and in that perspective,
Yeah.
you know, that's not me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
it makes you angry.
No, it does. It does. Oh, and then people will always put things on you that maybe you didn't subscribe to. They'll expect things that you didn't consent to, and
Or people will talk on your behalf.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they will ask for things and say, you said.
that this must happen, yeah,
That
or
this must
be
happen.
misconstrued. So you do get a lot of that, and I think it's part of the road, it's part
Yeah,
of the
it is.
journey,
It
and
is.
you also learn not to take everything so personal. It's not all about you, and
Yeah, it's not all about you.
That's an easy one. No, it makes things easy once you learn that lesson. When you know that things aren't all about you, it makes things a bit easier. I actually asked a couple of girlfriends. I'm like, oh, what do you think about What do you think about what do you think about this? And these ladies are not pastors' wives, and so I had some
I like that.
I had some two comments that made me laugh. One of the ladies said, sometimes other women have no boundaries.
I was just going to go there now. See, I have this.
Oh,
Do
you
you
do?
have any boundaries? And what are they? Because some dudes don't have boundaries.
Yes, yes. So boundaries is very helpful for you and to also other people that are coming into your space. And then another comment was made is like, how do you manage being in the shadow of your husband's ministry or not being appreciated as a male counterpart? I think you covered that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
fairly comprehensively. And then, this is one we didn't talk about, how to make sure that we don't live our lives through our children and we pass a healthy baton of faith over to our kids. Because that's also another thing that we didn't think. As pastors' wives, children see certain things and they can hear
Yep.
private conversations maybe
Yep,
of
yep,
contention.
yep.
Yeah. So how do we keep it healthy, as pastors' wives for the kids? And I think that's an important thing to do as well. Because while you're keeping your relationship healthy, while you're keeping your church healthy, you have to represent the faith in a healthy way, especially
Yes.
when you are taking in a lot of
right.
fire,
That's right.
Because the kids will see that.
Absolutely so. And don't you be fooled.
Yeah.
Children have feelings.
Yes, and they can
Children
also
pick up
and they can
things.
take things on your behalf.
They do take things
Yeah.
on your behalf.
No, that is true. So we have
they
that
actually do.
responsibility to kind of keep the toxicity out of our homes and out of our children's perspectives.
That's why I have a rule.
Yes, you do have a strong one. The no ministry at home.
No
rule.
ministry at home.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yeah, we take the ministerial cap off when we leave this office.
Yeah.
And many times we find that people visit and there's
There it
ministerial
goes, and then it
talks,
seeps out here.
right? So I prefer, that is why I like people, like my friends come to my house with their spouses, and
Yeah.
they're all in ministry.
Yeah.
So we hardly talk ministry when
Yeah.
we're all together,
Yeah.
to be quite honest. We laugh, we make jokes.
Yeah. We're people.
We're just people.
Yeah.
We just do stuff.
Yes.
We dance.
Yes.
Yeah, Sonia will teach us a move or so, and that is how we.
Yeah, let of steam.
I like that because
It balances you.
it balances me, man.
Yes.
And it doesn't make me so stiff and stuck up all the time.
And a stiff and stuck up person can never be a relevant contender in this day and age.
Absolutely, man.
Because you'll look like
you,
something.
Be yourself. You're a human being and enjoy life.
Yes.
Because being a stuck up person, you're not enjoying life. Yes, things are going. Alles gaan verby jou, man.
Yeah.
So just enjoy life. There's another thing that we didn't discuss, Lee-Ann, and it is, who do you confide in when faced with challenges?
Yeah, that's a tough one. It really is. Because it would depend on what type of challenges. Because you find sometimes the best people to talk to are outside of ministry. But the advice and the commentary that such a person would give, it wouldn't be holistic. Because it's a perspective outside of ministry.
Right.
So for me, we do have a spiritual oversight.
Right.
That we have to, or we try and, keep balanced.
Yes.
But only on a spiritual level.
Yes.
But not all our issues are of a spiritual nature. So you do need, I think, a few people that can help you along the way.
I like that. I like that. You need a few people.
Yeah.
Because you find some that are good at a specific thing.
Maybe like problem solving
and the
or something.
other one will be good in finances.
Yes.
The other one will be good in marriage relationships.
Yeah.
The other one will be good in congregational relationships.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So there's a
body.
diverse.
Yeah.
So you have to find those people.
Yeah.
My friend's husband, Pastor Frank Boyson.
Yes.
Pastor Frank Boyson is, I like him because he has that balance within him.
Yeah.
And in the friendship, he's the one that will always have that cap on.
Yeah.
And Pastor Denver again is a lekker, jolly type of character, but will also have a lot of depth also in the word.
Yes.
And then they now again would like to always ask my husband questions when it comes to theological stuff.
Yeah. So they
And
can
then
always
the
stay
conversation
on track.
goes, because remember now, Sandy is also in ministry,
Yeah.
having her own church,
Yeah.
and now having two churches, because her husband also had his own church, and now they're together.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted her on the set this morning, my dear girlfriend. But anyway, so she would have now been able to actually say, how did that transition happen and what? But what I wanted to say is, there's that different kind of strengths that you pull from.
And that's the beauty of variety. It really is.
Yeah.
I
just love it.
I have a senior friend of mine, and she says, and now it's so funny because this lady is very reserved and quiet, but all her friends are boisterous and fun and loud. And I heard her say to someone one day, she goes, "No, I need friends like that. Because I'm too boring any other way."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it helps
I like
you.
it.
It helps you to bring certain things about that
that's
you wouldn't
that's
normally
why
have.
I like Sonia. I like to be with Sonia. I honestly do.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like to be with Sonia.
Oh no, Sonia is just my go-to. She's this morning I said, Jan, I could have taken a drive to her, but nevertheless, girlfriend, I'm gonna see you maybe tomorrow.
She's
but
the fun enchanter.
she's the life wire.
Yes.
She's just something else. So you latch onto people like that if you have a weakness in something.
Yes.
See, I was brought up very conservative.
Yeah. So a Sonia in your
I need a Sonia in my life. And
good.
myself and Sandy was a bit conservative, to be quite honest. So
and then Sonia just balances
Sonia just balances the two of us.
And maybe she also needs some reservation in her life.
Yeah. They say I am the one that balance the relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
And they know I'm very straightforward, very.
But I mean, we're talking about a relationship, but it really comes through as good advice because if you're a first lady, I think what you really want to do also is focus on good friendships because they can anchor you.
Yeah.
And they can help you through difficult
And
days.
you're not an island, man.
Yes, don't be by yourself. I
Don't
think
be by
that's
yourself.
the easiest way to get into a rut as a first lady is being by yourself.
And
Don't get
getting depressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no one to bring you out of it.
And go into a self-pity party.
Yes.
You know, if you don't have friends
Yeah.
where you can actually vent on, you know.
Yeah, you do.
It's just lekker to have them.
Yeah. Or that you don't have to pastor. Have friends that you don't have to pastor.
You don't have to pastor them.
Yes.
You don't have to pastor them.
That's helpful.
They in the same
Yes.
boat
or
career.
sphere, yes.
Yeah. You know, so it's a lekker to have them with you. So what is your advice then if a first lady out there are listening or will watch this podcast?
Yeah.
What is your advice in a nutshell
In a
to
nutshell.
that first lady?
You are going to be okay. There will be you will have days where it doesn't seem like that. Your journey will also be a couple of highs and lows. Your journey will also be made up of times of obscurity and times of prominence. So don't be impatient for whatever phase or season of life that you find yourself in. I would say work on having good, strong, sound relationships. Focus on those.
Yes.
Don't give people absolutely everything about you. Keep some for yourself because you will need it. Try and maintain your faith during difficult and dark days, and I think be a good example in your home and try and keep your kids balanced because the role of ministry can be tough in a relationship, tough at home, and tough on you guys
and
as a family.
I like that. Keep your children balanced because a lot of children just know church.
Yeah, which is not good.
Well, it's not. It's not good. It's a no-no.
No, it's
a no-no.
unhealthy. You could have an Olympic swimmer
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely so. That is one of my regrets, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Because we could have,
Yeah. And don't raise your children like they're pastors.
you know,
Yeah.
they must
them.
do it.
If one of them,
childish
if one
things.
of
They
them,
must
if one
do
of them
things.
or all of them are pastors, thank the Lord, the ministry will continue. But raise
Yeah.
them for themselves.
They are uniquely
Yeah, they're themselves. They're their own
themselves.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla, who
Yes.
said, "I'm not my father, I am me."
Yes.
You know, I am Layla Ali, I'm not Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
So when she did boxing, she didn't do it
Because he
was a champion. She did it for herself.
Yeah.
So we all have dreams and we all have visions for our own lives. So we have to live our own dreams and visions. So we came to the end of our show, and we want to just thank everybody for listening and tuning in. And if you're going to listen to this podcast, I just have something quickly. I would like to say, First Lady, know your sorrows, acknowledge it, respect it, release it, know your weaknesses, do not rationalize or justify them, and then know your strengths and run with it. You have potential locked up inside of you, so do it. Do the best you can ever be. Loving yourself does not require perfection, but compassion. Love yourself for yourself, not for anybody else, because you live with you all your life. So nobody else can take up your life. You have to take responsibility for your own life. So we want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. We love you. God loves you best. And go in the peace of the Lord. Mwah.
In the shadow, as I look upon my life, in the shadow, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. In the shadow, as I look upon my life, in the shadow, there's a passion inside. I'm living